What this function does is it gets input from the microphone, that's all. So now we are doing try and except method, so I'll explain this later. Okay, now don't confuse with. So in try block we are printing wait for few moments. Okay, now we'll create a query con variable equal to or dot recognize. Now here you can see recognize Bing, Google, Google Cloud, Houndify, IBM, etc. In my case, I used recognize Google, and you can use any of this recognize APIs. So I'm using Google for this, and it's absolutely free. You can use this API for your program also. So we'll pass audio into this, and language equals, here I'm specifying ENIN, which means English India. Okay, so now we are going to display this in our output. You just said, let's print query here. Let's create a new line after this. So this is what our try blocks contains, and in our except block we are giving exception error as E. It's a constant variable, E is a variable, and print E. So speak please tell me again, and our query will be none while we are performing this, and return our query window function ends. Okay, now this try and except block is quite new for beginners. As I am explaining it to you, it's very simple. As simply without the try block, if this line throws an error, the whole program will be crashed and stopped being executed. So to prevent that, we are using the try and except block. If this line got any error, so what our program does is it simply jumps into the except block and prints the error, which means as E is the error variable which we have created to store what the type of error and what is the error. So it prints our error, and our Java speaks that please tell me again without being crashed. Simply it prevents our program being crashed due to errors. Okay, now don't confuse if you won't understand. This is the default way to do this command. Okay, so now we can test our Jarvis whether he listens to our audio and converting the audio into a text and displaying it in the output. Okay, now what we are gonna do is we are just calling the commands here. Commands dot lower. So we can save this into a query variable so that it will be easy for us. So now query equals commands dot lower. Simply we are calling the command function here and changing it into a lowercase so that it won't give unwanted errors. Okay, so we'll always use this lower whenever we are calling the commands. Okay, so now when we run our program, okay, let's shrink this. So Jarvis came to listening. Okay, our print listening has appeared in the output, and now we are going to give an input to Jarvis using our microphone. Now, hey Jarvis, how are you? Wait for a few moments and hey Jarvis, how are you? Now our AI is able to recognize our microphone input and give it as an output. So here we are. We almost got everything in our project to do with Jarvis. What if Jarvis gives us a good morning boss, good afternoon boss, wishings like that? It would be cool, right? So now we are gonna create that functions to make Jarvis wish us. So first we are going to create a function called, so now we can delete this. So now we can create a function called wishings, and we need our Jarvis to wish us with time, so that he can understand whenever the morning comes and whenever the evening ends. So we are going to import date time in our project.